Right on, which is the opposite of dead. Very good.
It's good to see you, Dad. How you doing?
Better than not at all. How about you?
So good. I'm excited to be here. I had a really great Sunday and a great week, actually. Just getting a lot of stuff done and getting ready. I start work tomorrow. I'm super excited for that opportunity. But right now is an opportunity for you and I to kind of connect and chat about a few things. So I'm super excited. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Of
Been
course.
been a great week.
Yeah. And anything special you want to talk about that happened this week?
Nope, just got a couple of writing projects finished that I was really excited about, and one project that I got halfway through and thought better. This is kind of a sacrilegious subject. Maybe I should get somebody else's opinion on it. And so I did. And that other opinion absolutely laughed at me and said that wasn't such a great idea. So I'm glad I didn't work too long on that idea. So, other than yeah, it's been a good week.
Yeah, the power of creativity was given to us by our Heavenly Father, and it can be easily misused.
Yes, absolutely.
And
This
that's
is
in
very true.
all facets of life, right? And whatnot. So
Yep.
perfect. So I really want to start off. I know we got tons of fan mail this week. We were loaded up, tons of people writing in. Did you want to share anything that stood out to you?
Um, well, we have one that I thought that was particularly interesting, solely for the fact that it talked about patience, which is what we had discussed. It says, "Hey, dear Tuttle Twins, love your episode on patience. I've been praying for more patience every day this week, and let me tell you, the Lord delivered. My neighbor's cat won't stop yowling. My husband's fixed the sink again, and the Relief Society president put me in charge of funeral potatoes for the third time this month. I've never felt so spiritually refined through suffering. Blessed and exhausted, Sister Carol in Provo."
Nice. Thanks, Sister Carol. You know what? All you gotta do is a little too much salt in them funeral taters, and you're off the hook. You gotta fix that. I get it.
Yeah, patience through suffering. Sometimes the suffering is much to be desired.
Sure is. Yeah. I'm wise enough to never ask for that.
If you say so, I will believe you.
I appreciate your confidence in me. Um, that was awesome. Thanks, Sister Carol. Appreciate that. So another thing I want to bring up, I don't know if you remember, last week we talked about getting some sponsorship, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
yep. And so I had wrote a request to Pray Our Daily, asking like, hey, would you sponsor our podcast? We really like to work together and team up.
Oh, that author.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So I sent a request and got a response. And I wonder if you had interest in me sharing that.
Absolutely. I can't
Yeah?
wait.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
this ought to be really interesting.
First of all, they start by insulting you, so I'm sorry. Says, Dear Jordan and Mr. Tuttle. I don't know why they call you Mr. Tuttle. Maybe, the beard, the age. I don't know. Praise be. After prayer, fasting, and a quick game of Bible Jeopardy to break the tie, Pray Our Daily and Neil Moore, Stress Less, are thrilled to accept your sponsorship request. Now, as a small faith-driven organization, we don't traffic in worldly currencies like money. Instead, we're proud to offer your podcast the following. One, lifetime supply of gently used prayer knee pads for our Tested by Faith collection. Three coupons of 10% off our new line of anxiety resistant essential oils guaranteed to smell like quiet judgment and lavender. Unlimited access to our exclusive online resource course, Folding Laundry for the Lord. Wow, that's a great perk. And finally, we'll be praying for you every third Tuesday, unless revival breaks out or the Wi-Fi goes down. Cool. In exchange, we ask that you never mention our book or company again in your podcast, preferably at all, as it breeds chaos. We look forward to watching your ministry grow, mostly from a safe distance. Kneeling and Dealing, Pray Our Daily, author of Kneel More, Stress Less.
Wow. Okay. How about that?
That's a
At least he
package
reached
deal.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And they took time to respond and give us a fantastic package. And I think, I mean, every third Thursday we get, I mean, that's pretty amazing, Dad. And those knee pads, that's exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah. Those are be collector's items. They'll be one of a kind.
Mm-hmm. So we now have our first sponsor.
Right on.
Yes,
We are now moving up the ladder.
we sure are.
Holy moly.
Sure are. It's exciting. So we'll
Yeah.
keep
If we
our,
keep this up, we'll actually make it to the next step.
what step's that? Oh, on the
I don't
ladder.
know, but we'll find out when we get there.
I'm excited. This has been a great journey.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah.
All right.
Better than
Um,
any journal writing I've ever done.
the next, I want to talk a little bit about kind of the meat and potatoes, a little bit on church history. It's primarily pre-church, like the history of archaeological evidence for some of the Book of Mormon and some of that early history. I know that you had shared a video with me talking about some of the linguistics of a group of people who existed even before the Mayans existed, who had a lot of linguistic nature indicative of that of the Hebrew language. I just thought that was super fascinating. Do you have any other insights from that video or that topic?
Well, well, linguistics or etymology are kind of one of my pastime hobbies. I love to see where words come from, how they're being used, not only then, but how they transitioned their use till now. Everything that they do with linguistics nowadays is supplemented through computer enhancement programs that actually allow us to understand so much more than we've ever been able to comprehend in the past. And it's just an exciting time because they've noticed that in the area of Teotihuacan, for instance, there's a lot of writing in their style of writing that is very reminiscent of not only from those that were in Hebrew, but in uh, the languages of the Native Americans at the time. So you can look at the writings in the temples there at Teotihuacan, and you can see how some of the earliest writings that were on those walls are reminiscent of a language that was there from before that has Hebrew connection to it, and then the language that they developed it in. And then as you go out from the temple complexes, you can see how different languages were used at different parts of the different temples. And to see how all of that is in just one area, all that history. One people occupied it, left, another set of people occupied it, gone. And you can see all those transformations and all the language. It is just absolutely mind boggling.
Wow. What's interesting about that is that I was recently at someone's house, staying in a different location, and one of the individuals there was talking about like the Book of Mormon and saying, look, there's no archaeological evidence to support anything in the Book of Mormon. And so I had done a little research and digging, really base level, and I kind of had to agree. I was like, the different plants like wheat and barley were not, we archaeologically we're not seeing reminiscence of that in the Americas and horses. Just like there's not a lot when you look at it skeptically. Then you go, look, this proves, this shows, this even as they look at DNA, the DNA would show that, well, supposedly currently that the early people from early Americas are connected relatively to like people originally from like Siberia, Russia, and Asia, right? Not so much but you're talking, if that's the case, you're talking way before the times of the Book of Mormon. Again, this is 400 AD, or sorry, BC, 400 BC that this takes place. So you're talking thousands and thousands of years versus hundreds of years before the year of our Lord. So super interesting. And when you're looking at linguistics and these really concrete evidences, it seems to support the notion that there's more to the genealogy, more to the complexities of these civilizations than we're aware of.
Absolutely. Just take, for example, just the pyramids in Egypt. They're they're saying that those were not built by the Egyptians. They're
I've heard
coming to
that.
think that those were the Egyptians inherited them. So because the carbon dating that we use, we cannot yet uh, archaeologically tell how much age there is to stone. They can't carbon date stone. So how they carbon date, how old the pyramid is simply by looking at things that were trapped in between. If there's organic matter that was in between, they can get a hold of that organic matter and date that. And then they go and use other means to identify, what was going on at the time, who was building what records do we have, and then they try to piece it all together and say, yeah, these were built by, but back when they said that these were built by the Egyptians, they didn't have all the information that we do now. And now they're coming to find out that, well, maybe these were built way before the Egyptians.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe built before the Egyptians and modified by the Egyptians.
Correct.
You know,
Yep.
what's interesting about that is we know like earliest writings I think are like 5,000 years old. Only a few thousand years before Christ we see early writings. Like before that, to my understanding, there's no written languages older than that. And so when you look at hieroglyphs, so who could have built these pyramids? Because whoever did, if not the Egyptians, they didn't have written language, or at least they didn't place written language anywhere on the pyramids that we know of, that I see, that I've seen. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I think that's a good summation of it.
Yeah,
There's really no evidence as far as, languages that are carved in stone, so to speak, that we can definitively point to any one way or another.
yeah, fair enough. And I'm trying to remember, is it Jeffrey R. Holland or Thomas S. Monson? I think it was Elder Holland who said, "Doubt your doubts before you doubt your faith." Um, anyhow,
Mm.
and that's kind of when I was wrestling with this archaeological portion of it. Is you gotta at first in my mind doubt the completeness of the archaeological study. I think archaeology is behind, like if any science, archaeology is behind the other sciences. Physics is way further, biology is way further, chemistry is way further, technology, like all that's way further, and then archaeology is way behind. So,
Because there's so much more to it. You can't do archaeology on a piece of paper like you can physics and math. And
yep. Yeah, you can't just replicate an experiment over and over and over. You have the subject matter to which you want to hypothesize or experiment on is really challenging to find.
yeah, yeah, it cannot be just one way. I don't think there's too many variables that they haven't even considered yet, and are going to be coming to light here in the near future, maybe.
Yep.
We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Right. Yeah. Super
That's
interesting.
why it's called faith.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. All right. That was a great conversation. Thanks for sharing that because I think it's fascinating and I enjoyed the opportunity to kind of talk about it and get your thoughts.
Absolutely, because I love everything to do with language and how it came to be.
Yeah. Perfect.
I don't
So,
know if you realize this, or I'm sure you do. It's a dumb thing to say. How, language, the language that we know and the language that we use bases our view of the world we live in. Because if I want to look at the world through the language of Russian in Russia, it is totally different than if I'm living in Russia and look at Russia through an English version, because words don't translate always. Ideas have a hard time sometimes translating because they look at the world slightly different than we do. Asians, same way. They look at the world slightly different than we do. So they use different words and different word groupings to describe their daily world, which is totally different than our daily world.
yeah.
So I just love to see how language identifies the people who we are.
Yeah, I love that. You know, it's interesting you say that because on my mission, the idea of, hey, you're fluent, like truly fluent, not when you can necessarily hold a conversation, but when you understand the jokes, when you understand the idioms, when you understand the culture and you understand everything that kind of encompasses that language, then you're fluent. And because missionaries can hold a gospel conversation pretty quickly, at least, in Spanish. I don't know about more difficult languages, but in Spanish, they're holding gospel conversation pretty quickly. But it doesn't mean necessarily that you're fluent. And it's exactly what I feel like you're saying is, look, there's a prism of life that's encapsulated in the way we articulate that prism, which is language.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that. So, Dad, I'm really excited for this next portion of our conversation. We're gonna talk a little bit about um, the suggestion box that you have.
Yes. Now I believe it is time for our sacrilegious portion of the broadcast. We're going to call it Heaven's Suggestion Box because
Nice.
Lord knows they need one. And so I've been wondering and putting it out there to the fans about if Heaven had a suggestion box, what would you put in that suggestion box? And with all of the fan mail that's been given to us that you've obviously been over inundated with, I have picked a few of those suggestions out of the suggestion box. And I think it'd be pretty interesting to see what they had to say.
I'm going to say, go ahead.
Okay, so okay, folks, it's that sacred time again. It's Heaven's suggestion box because even the most faithful among us sometimes want to leave a little, feedback for the Almighty because maybe our prayers aren't really getting to Him. At least that's how we feel. So, in case the pearly gates ever get a comment card kiosk, this may be something we can really use. And in this week's theme is patience. It's inspired by a listener who's been praying for more of it. And well, the Lord delivered. Apparently, her neighbor's cat won't stop yowling. Her husband fixed the sink again. And he's been put in charge of the funeral potatoes, is something that we've read here as part of the fan mail. And they really would thought that if that fan mail didn't get to the Lord in time, that maybe if we left it in a suggestion box, that would ensure its delivery. So, they really wanted us to really nail home what the suggestion box could truly mean for us. And so they decided to say one suggestion they really thought needed to be included was not only being able to have some patience, but a few polite glares in church parking lots by other people should get a suggestion on how to do that properly so that we all don't feel uncomfortable. That glare can say 1,000 words. So Sister Lucy says that should be in the suggestion box. And if we lose patience, we need to write it down. Don't just let it go. That won't get our patience fixed. Write down what's bothering you. Put it in the suggestion box. Maybe the Lord, when He has time, will read the suggestion box and grant your wish. That's what she's hoping. So this has been Heaven's Suggestions Box on the Tuttle Twins. Sarcasm required. The sarcastic portion and sacrilegious for you only.
Love it. I don't disagree.
Yeah, they're quite particular about the things that they think should be suggested.
Yeah, yeah.
Not very general. I mean, a glancing stare that had to come from somewhere.
I love that. And for anyone else who's watching, if you have, suggestions for heaven and they're busy, we got the hotline though. If you have any suggestions, let us know. We'll get those going for you. We're
Absolutely.
liaison and ambassador that for you. So let us know. All right, Dad, do you want to talk a little tech?
Oh boy, my favorite subject.
Tech
What?
is? No. I like tech.
Yeah, I'm about as proficient as tech is a rice farmer is to a CEO of a Fortune 500 company trading on the Dow Jones.
That was super specific really quickly.
Oh, there you
That was a great simile that you just like, I don't even know how you came up with that simile just off the top of your head
go.
like
Well,
that.
neither. It just hodgepodged it all by itself.
I really like tech, but like all my watches are just standard watches. I don't have any smart watches or anything. They're all just basic. Bro, you
That's
got
I have so much tech right here. It's unbelievable.
you
I
gotta
got
get you
15 hairs past a freckle. Do you?
no. I have actual time.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I'm sorry for you.
Yeah.
Freckle time is much better.
That's that's an opinion, you know? So you're welcome to it. Um
Absolutely.
I want to talk a little bit about there's a new genre of tech I didn't know anything about, and I just started diving into, and it's super very interesting. It's handheld PC consoles. I didn't even know that was a thing. Did you know that was a thing?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
That sounds painful. I mean, how are you going to hold this thing in your hands like this? Or, you're walking around, whoa, I play big game. Look at me.
Yeah, well, it's not the 80s anymore. PCs aren't that big. Uh,
Touche, touche.
yeah. Yep. Yep. But you are right that they are a little bit heavy, even today's technology, and I think it wouldn't be very comfortable for your hands. But so there's this whole genre, and basically what it is they're trying to say, look, we're giving you a handheld experience that acts like a console but runs on PC on Windows 11. So it has all of the back frame of Windows. In fact, you can switch it over to Windows mode and do it, browser and everything. But when you're in the interface, it looks just like a console. It just looks like the basic, whatever it is. So there's some big names out there that do some really cool stuff. I have the ROG Ally Xbox, which is this guy right here.
Holy
Um,
moly, that's huge.
right. And you can see
Wow.
the handles here. It looks just like the Xbox controller handles.
How is that any different than what I was just doing? You said they're not that big anymore. It's ain't the 80s.
Okay, but you were doing this number, and it's
I
not
just
like
I have my elbows out a little bit higher, but you can go like this if you want. It's still gonna look crazy.
you have no
Uh,
idea how many memes I'm gonna make out of you doing that.
I can't wait.
But yeah, so but the other ones, there's another one that's called a Lenovo 2, or yeah, Lenovo 2 Go. And
Hmm.
what that is it's got the two handles to it, but it has a bigger screen. And you can actually put it down, it has a kickstand, and you take the handles off. And then you
Oh
can
wow!
use them like a controller and leave the screen there, or you can keep it all together and just use it as one unit. That one is substantially bigger though, and heavy. So it all kind
So
of
what made
depends.
you go with that one?
This one, because of the ergonomics were great, the screen size was great. It was cheap. It's about $400 cheaper than that Lenovo 2 Go, and that was a big deal. Um, I may still actually switch though, if I'm honest, because I like this. It's pretty sick, but the Lenovo 2 Go is pretty savage, and you could take the right handle and turn it into a mouse, and it gets all the functions of a mouse. So
Mm,
for like first person shooters or games like Diablo, where it's better probably to angle to direction and then click, would be because it does a pretty good job, I feel like, when you're on controller of telling you where you want to do your spells, but not always. There's times where it's like I actually want that spell to like hit that monster, go that way, and it didn't. You could
mm-hmm.
solve that with that mouse function and do it that way. So there's trade-offs, but this one's not as big. It was again $400 cheaper, and I actually got $100 off because I got a return box. It was a box that was open. They didn't have any on the sales floor, so I went to customer service like, "When are you guys gonna get these in again?" I happened to see one. I go, "Can I just buy that one?" He goes, "It's an open box. Do you care?" I'm like, "I don't care." He brought it down. He goes, "You get $100 off because it's open." Bussin'.
Wow!
Yeah,
Wow!
yeah.
Holy moly! Cool.
I can't believe how well that worked out, and it's great. I don't know that I'll ever like step. I don't think I'll ever step into like the console world again, to be honest.
Hmm.
Because I can compete with different stores to get prices on games and like Steam, Epic Games, Ubisoft, Battle.net, and they're all on one library here, even though I have them on different platforms.
Hmm.
They all show on one library. So for like right now, Borderlands 4 is on sale with Epic Games, but it's not in Steam. Well, if you're just with Microsoft, you're roasted. And the games I purchase with Microsoft, I can't use on here because it's a PC. So even though it's Xbox, it only plays the PC Xbox games.
Oh wow!
hmm
Oh, I didn't know that.
it can do cloud gaming though. So for all the other games, if you have the premium, so there's a PC subscription which is like 15 a month. And then you could play any of the Game Pass library that's PC, which is awesome. And I
Mm,
might I might end up doing that.
that's not
Or
bad.
not bad. Or you can pay, pay, was it 50 for their ultimate or whatever. And then you could do cloud gaming on any of the other games that may not be PC, but are cloud
Hmm.
compatible. So, but for 50 a month, I could buy a game like Diablo 4 when you start playing that, I could just buy that on Battle.net and then I'm in. And
Hmm.
I never have to worry about it again. I never have to pay for it again. I just have it. So
Yep.
it's super interesting. I think it feels like a console. Like right now, if I open it up, I'm playing a game. I just click the button, start in, and I'm back in my game. It feels just like
So
a
how is
console.
it playing on such a small screen though?
It's fine. It's because the screen, like when I'm playing it, I'm either laying reclined here and I have it like this, or I'm laying in bed and I have it right here. So for me, it's not a big deal. But I have an extra monitor actually right here that I could port this to.
Oh, okay.
So if I really want to, and I was like, oh, that's annoying, I could put it on a bigger monitor and play that way too. So, and there's tons of accessories. Like I can Bluetooth my mouse to it if I want to do other games and kind of anything I really want to do. You can
Wow.
Bluetooth to it and do all sorts of crazy stuff.
That's a gaming PC in your hand.
It is. But for $1,000, you can get it probably a better actual gaming laptop or gaming PC
Hmm.
that's going to perform more and do higher graphics and blah blah blah. It just depends on what you want. I'm not interested in having a big tower in my room. I'm not interested in another laptop. This for me is perfect. I don't game
Yep,
a whole ton anyway. I just want to get on, click some buttons, and get in and go. Um,
absolutely. I
and
totally hear you.
and that's the thing with PC. Even if you have a laptop, right? And I've had a gaming laptop. It's like when you actually want to game, you have to do all this and that and this and this and get it all configured and blah, and then you can go. This, you just download the thing, it does its own updates, and you play. Just like it acts
Nice.
just like a console in that way. So it's
Wow.
the flexibility of PC, but the portability of a handheld and I guess the power of the interface of a console, So it's only gonna get better. I think the race is on between, and there's a ton of companies producing these things. This one right here is probably second. This one and the Lenovo Go are the two head neck and neck, depending on what you're interested in and
Hmm.
what's really good for you. But this is the way I want a game. Like this is great.
Yeah, and that's all that matters is if you're happy with it, then there's no reason to worry about anything else.
100%. Yep, I agree, and I'm happy with it. It's been a lot of fun to play with and use. So, are you gonna get one for Christmas?
Yeah, yeah. Soon as my rich uncle passes away,
Perfect. Yeah, yeah. I don't blame you on
yeah,
that one.
yeah,
I looked on there, dude. I haven't. It looks like it says on Xbox you haven't been on in like 26 days.
been longer than that.
Is that?
I don't even have it plugged in.
Do you not?
Uh-uh.
Do you have it just stored
I
somewhere?
have the cable and the TV, and that's all that's plugged in. I have all that stuff put away.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's just sitting there.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. That's funny. Good for you. I know that you're doing other things that you really enjoy right now. So
Yep, I love my writing and I love my music, so takes up all me time.
yeah, awesome. Dad, I'm super grateful for the conversation today. Very grateful you took your time to spend with us and to chat about some really awesome subjects. And I really look forward to next week.
Yeah, absolutely, can't wait.
All right, I love you.
Been been a really awesome. Love talking to you, and we'll have to try and do this again.
Yeah, yeah, we'll try again next week. I love you, Dad.
Love you too. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Peace.